Hello, hello. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning, or whenever you're seeing it. Glad to have y'all here. I'm getting everything set up. And of course, since we are still in Gemini season, we are going to be starting with Gemini. And just to give everybody a heads up. So, with this, we are going to be doing about a couple of spreads per zodiac. So, keep in mind this these messages are not for everybody. So, take them as it resonates. If it does resonate, please feel free to like and or subscribe if you haven't already. But with that said, let me get the timestamp going because I don't want no problems from anybody. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Start with Gemini. All right, Spirit. What gifts and talents can Gemini make work for them? What gifts and talents, Spirit, can Gemini make work for them? Hey, 8 Editor 41. How are you feeling? Welcome, welcome. What gifts and talents can Gemini make work for them? We got here on, this is going to be our second spread, but this is the Ten of Cups, Knight of Cups, Eight of Swords. I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking. All right, Gemini, on our first spread, we have these together, all three. First spread, Gemini, we got the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Magician. The Queen of Wands, and again, how I do, y'all. This is about the energy of the archetype, and the Queen of Wands is somebody who is very confident, and some might see her confidence as more as ego than anything, but that's not necessarily so. So take it as it resonates. And I've said this before, but in the traditional sense of the Rider Waite, the Queen of Wands was used more as an archetype to describe somebody who is promiscuous, because her her legs were drawn so they present as like open, like welcome. So Spirit is pointing that out to me, and not to say that you may need to be a sex worker. However, what I am getting is that Gemini, in this particular spread, you may be something who works with people who have been sex workers or have been trafficked with the Seven of Swords here, in one way or another, helping them to acclimate into a life with the Magician here that is gives them some sense of normalcy, however that looks for them. So this may be, a counselor, it may be a coach, it may be, starting off as a volunteer at a nonprofit to see where you fit in. And I I don't want to say or just limit it to somebody who has like a feminine energy who has been trafficked. You know, whatever population Gemini feels that it resonates for you, because it's not just feminine energies that get trafficked. It's not just people, women who need help acclimating back into life after trauma. Yeah, this is one of those things where, you know, you take somebody who has a life, help them who have been living a life of regret, um, resentment for towards what they've been through, probably even a lot of shame. And with the Ace of Wands, you help them see and get opportunities. You work with them in the community. You show them resources. Yeah, this is one of those things where Gemini, you don't necessarily have to have a formal, education. Maybe you, Gemini, are the one who starts that nonprofit. Maybe you, Gemini, are the one who, helps people raise money for the resources. Clarifying the Seven of Swords here in this first spread. Yeah, this is a real honorable. And just because, let me say this, just because you may be working for a nonprofit or create a nonprofit, Gemini, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be profitable. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, because sometimes people have a tendency to think that. Clarifying the Seven of Swords for Gemini. Clarifying the Seven of Swords for Gemini. Clarifying Seven of Swords. Clarifying the Seven of Swords upright. Clarifying the Seven of Swords, Gemini, is the Two of Pentacles reversed. Yeah. So you are helping people come out of a very tumultuous situation. When we are talking about people who have been trafficked in one way or another, when we are talking about people who have been living with, some sense of abuse, um, any kind of trauma related to that, they need assistance and people who help ground them, who help bring them balance, bring them into balance. And there are different things that you may be able to help. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a counselor or coach. You may be the person that helps raise money. There's different roles that people play in this situation. Clarifying the Magician, and then we'll go to the next spread here for you, Gemini. Clarifying the Magician. Upright. Oops. Is the Nine of Wands. Yeah. Helping people by clarifying with the Magician, with the Nine of Wands, you're helping people see their resilience. Help them to understand that they are strong in whatever role that you play. If this happens to resonate with you, Gemini, like I said, there are different roles to play when you're helping somebody acclimate back into a life with some sense of normalcy. Help them, get a 9 to 5 if that's what they want to do. Help them start a business. It's like that. Yeah. We're going to the next one, the next spread for Gemini. So if that one resonates, Gemini, definitely, show some love. Give us a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the 8 of Swords. This is definitely like a a theme type energy of you helping people know their worth and come out of an energy of where they have put themselves in a restricted mindset, whether it is because they have low self-worth, they have been restricted because of, again, maybe an abusive situation. This is like, it's giving me family therapy, it's giving me couples therapy, it's giving me individual therapy, and any aspect thereof. Because again, you know, this may be one of those things where you probably don't want to go to school for an extra 4 years or go to school for 6 years. So, coaching, becoming a Reiki healer to heal, people's wounds. There's more than one way to connect a family back together. There's more than one way to connect a couple back together, but we have cups here. So it's definitely about establishing emotional balance within a unit, whether that unit is yourself, a couple, or a family. And it seems that you have a, which one? This one? This one. It seems, Gemini, that you have a knack for doing that, for helping people see their worth. And you could probably make money at that. Have you ever heard, Gemini, of, gosh, what's it called? Like empathetic listening. Empathetic listening. That doesn't require any kind of certification. I'm pretty sure they have one out there now for that. But empathetic listening, just listening to people, not necessarily giving advice, but some people just want to be heard. And people want to pay to be heard. Yeah. Empathetic listening. If y'all haven't looked into that, you might want to. Clarifying the Knight of Cups. Clarifying the Knight of Cups. Clarifying the Knight of Cups, Gemini, is the Six of Wands. Yeah, some people just want to be heard and recognized, Gemini. So you may want to look into this empathetic listening, or gosh, it has another phrase to it where you can help people just see their worth without having to go get a certification, or without having to get a license, because a lot of people don't have time for that. But yeah, empathetic listener. I've seen, why are they showing me this? I've seen something recently where people make money hugging folks. Yeah. Have folks set up appointments to get hugs, because some people don't get that kind of connection. Clarifying the Eight of Swords. Reconnecting the family. Yeah. Four of Cups in reverse. This is that energy that helps people recognize the blessing that they are, first to themselves and then to the world, just by through an act of kindness. Yeah, you can, if you have been thinking of doing counseling or getting a certification or something like that, Gemini, that's great. However, there are other ways to get paid, to help people in an empathetic way. Yeah. All right, Gemini. That's interesting. I hope that helps. And I hope that helps you for your highest good, Gemini. We're on the Cancer. Okay. Hello, everybody in the chat. If I have not spoken to you yet, all right, Cancer, let me get your timestamp going. Mm. Hey, W. Mm, W. Spaniali. I hope I said that correctly. Hey, Cancer. Hey. All right, Cancer. We're going to do two spreads for you to see what gifts and talents you can make work for you. Keep in mind, Cancer, this message isn't for everybody. Take what resonates, and if it does resonate, Cancer, feel free to like and or subscribe. What can Cancer, gifts and talents, can Cancer make work for them? What gifts and talents, Spirit, can Cancer make work for them? All right. Eight of Cups. Page of Swords. And there is the Eight of Swords again. So that's going to be our second spread, Cancer. Our first spread would start with what is at the bottom of the deck. And we are starting off with the Page of Pentacles and the Hermit. Cancer, you may be really good at finding people who are, I'm hearing recruiter, finding those gems that may fit into a particular culture at a specific job. So we're talking about like the recruiters for what are they called? Like temp agencies, recruiters, and not even that, but even with the Fool right here, maybe even starting your own recruiting business. Starting your own recruiting business. Because there are a lot of people nowadays, a lot of businesses who outsource. They use their HR, but there are a lot of headhunters out there for real. I know a lot of people who find jobs through headhunters, and that's what I'm getting here. For some of you, it is recruiting and headhunters. For others of you, this is about helping others find community resources, and maybe even being that person who provides the community resources. They're showing me this Page of Pentacles super hard beside the Fool, and it's giving the gosh, you know how community centers, synagogues, churches, they may have those food drives, things like that. But not only food drives, but they also have other types of resources where there are people who help women get clothes for interviews. Yeah, help them see their worth, help them feel worthy of the interview. They don't have to, pay a lot of money to get interview clothes and things like that. And some of you will help them get jobs altogether and even start their own businesses so they can have more stable lives. Yeah. Because we have the King and the Queen of Pentacles. Shoot, behind that is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a whole fulfilling lifestyle for them and you. The hermit is somebody who seeks, and they don't just seek. The hermit is somebody who is guided by the star. And so that is what you would do, Cancer. You would use your resources as well as your intuition to help people find that right fit for themselves. That's one thing, but also for those of you where that doesn't resonate, there are those folks out there who help others uh, find what they need in order to get a job. The clothes, clarifying the hermit. The connections. We have 4. Okay. Clarifying the hermit, we have the magician, the Knight of Wands, the Fool again, and the 5 of Cups. Yeah. There's a lot of if we're talking about the resources in the community, there's a lot of people who feel shame and feel badly about what they're not able to do if they go into an interview and they don't have the right attire on. There are a lot of people out there who feel badly or feel worthless because they don't even know how to start looking for a job. Some people are not tech savvy at all. This is that avenue that helps people uh, get an active role in their lives and make money doing it. And you can make money doing it too. There are a lot of people who want to give out grants to organizations like this because there is a lot of money in these different communities. And a lot of government organizations are looking for it. They're sitting on money, and it has to go to organizations like this. This is what it is. The grant is required to give money like that. Some of you would end up with this 10 of Pentacles and the King, the Queen, and the 10 of Pentacles helping these organizations write grant proposals. You could and people make a lot of money writing grant proposals because folks don't know how to do it. And you can find out how to start on this platform. It won't cost you anything. It won't cost you anything. There are other ways to learn how to write grants, but you want to be very discerning about any program that you attempt to pursue. Yeah. Let's go to the second one. The second one is, again, the 8 of Cups, Page of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. Huh. Yeah, Cancer. This is an interesting one. Have you ever thought about being a private investigator of some sort? Now, I know every state and every country has um, their own, certifications and licenses that you need to be a private investigator, but it's not even like just that. Spirit is going even deeper with this about there's those people who do things from online only, where they do a whole bunch of searches. They do those deep dives for like true crime podcasts and shows and things like that. Well, there are people who do this in real life. Fact checkers, background checks. You can make money doing that. Some of y'all and some of us are just super nosy and we're super inquisitive. And Spirit is saying that you can actually make that work for you. You can make it work for you. Where you're charging people by the hour to get insight, whether you're talking about private eye or you're talking about, doing some fact checking on people's background checks. Yeah, because this is about in prison. This is about restrictions and things like that. Like what's going on? Interesting. Hmm. Clarifying the Eight of Cups. Yeah, people didn't know they can make money being nosy, and you can. You can make it work for you. You would definitely want to make sure you have a really good VPN. Clarifying the Eight of Cups for Cancer. Yeah, clarifying the Eight of Cups is a Six of Wands. Yeah, this is that energy of somebody who is taking pictures or video of an unfaithful spouse who is saying that they're going to work, who is saying that they're out with friends, but they're really not. This is somebody who is getting um, insight and access to somebody else's files legally through their computer, or getting access to court records to reveal something that this job is asking for. They need to know if their accounts, their money is straight, or if their money is funny. People make money doing this, and they charge by the hour like a lawyer. Clarifying the Eight of Swords. Okay. Clarifying the Eight of Swords is the Page of Swords again. Yeah. Being inquisitive, somebody who's naturally inquisitive, somebody who is naturally nosy, you can make that work for you. You can make money by the hour. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You are somebody who could actually own your own business and make it a lifestyle. Have others, train others to do what you do and have them working for you. Mm, okay. That is Cancer. And now we are on to Leo. Okay. Mhm. Get your time stamp, Leo. All right. Hey, Leo. Hey. All right. Here we go. Let's see. What gifts and talents, Spirit, can Leo make work for them? What gifts and talents can Leo make work for them? Leo, we are going to get two spreads going here. Keep in mind, it's not going to resonate with everybody, and that's okay. Take it as it resonates. First spread, we're going to pull from the bottom of the deck, and the second spread is going to be the one that's closest to me. What gifts and talents can Leo make work for them? All right. First spread, second spread rather. Death, King of Wands, Ace of Wands. And at the bottom of the deck, Leo, both of these are just, yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. They're really like a hunter. Some people like I don't want to say like puzzles, but like kind of like puzzles and mysteries and shoot, uh, not the. They're showing me those games where people like find gold and stuff like that, but a lot of times people have no idea that they have treasures already in their names because they have these um, what are they called, inheritances, and they have no idea that they exist. If you are somebody, Leo, who likes to do those deep dives, you got that kind of time with the hangman here, where you are somebody who, seeks out the truth, especially if you are somebody who um, wants to see people doing well, and not just see them doing well, but also you want to make money to help people do well. A lot of times they don't know that they have this land. They don't know they have these inheritances, or that they got this settlement or something like that from something so long ago, or a family member got a settlement and they never claimed it. And you could actually charge a finder's fee. So you are finding, Leo, people's treasures and charging a finder's fee for it, and letting them know, like, hey, you have this over here. Well, of course, you would charge them a fee first, and they will pay for the information. Yeah, that's crazy. Clarifying the Three of Wands. Clarifying the Three of Wands. Leo. Clarifying the Three of Wands. Okay. Clarifying the Three of Wands. Clarifying the Three of Wands, Leo, is the moon. Yeah, people have no idea that they actually have things in their name, or they have these inheritances because a great uncle that they never knew passed on. Not only that, Leo, but you could actually, in some states or in some territories, you would actually be able to claim these things, claim unclaimed treasures, and make money off of it. Mm-hmm. You could do that. Yeah. Clarifying the Ace of Swords. Yes. Clarifying the Ace of Swords is the lovers. It would be, connecting people with these treasures, or with these inheritances, or with this land, or with whatever, or you claiming it yourself, and making money off of it. Death, King of Wands, and Ace of Wands. Oh, shoot. Hmm? Let me clarify this. Can we clarify? Okay. Clarifying the King of Wands. I just want to make sure I'm hearing what you're telling me now. My apologies, Val. Somebody's outside, so you can hear my dog barking. You may have just heard her snoring. Clarifying the King of Wands for Leo. Okay. It is a business. All right. So, Spirit is showing me that you could actually start a business by with death here, changing and transforming. uh it's like becoming a motivational speaker, but becoming a motivational speaker and showing incels or men or people who don't have the greatest dating history how to date and how to attract the 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 person that they want to attract. I won't say the opposite sex, but attract the person they want to attract and make money doing it. You are somebody, Leo, who is very you know uh, you're very attractive as well, and you can help people change their lives and help them to see that you don't have to be like super attractive. You just have to be confident in your approach, and you can teach people. You can coach them, especially if they are let's say younger and may not have the social graces or the self-esteem to even put themselves out there. You can help them with that, and it doesn't really require a certification or anything like that. Clarifying the Ace of Wands for Leo. Clarifying the Ace of Wands for Leo. Clarifying the Ace of Wands for Leo. Clarifying the Ace of Wands is the Fool, Six of Swords, and the High Priestess. Yeah. And this is with the Six of Swords here. Um, this is about, doing it in a non-manipulative, safe way and legal way. Because there are people who do other things in other ways. Because this is something intuitively that you know how to do. This is in you to teach others self-esteem, teach others how to uh, kind of attract what they and who they want. Yeah. And not being afraid to do it, to shoot their shot. Absolutely. And you can make a lot of money doing it too with the King of Pentacles. Yeah, Leo. I hope that helps. And I hope it helps you for your highest good. All right. Moving on to Virgo. All right. Virgo, hey. All right. Here we go. Spirit, what gifts and talents can Virgo make work for them? What gifts and talents can Virgo make work for them? What gifts and talents can Virgo make work for them? All right, Virgo, here we go. We got Five of Swords, Queen of Cups, Judgment. That is going to be our second spread, Virgo. In our first spread, Virgo, mm, we got the Seven of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. This Seven of Swords isn't about being sneaky, even though you may need to be a little stealthy in a way. But this is about um, matchmaking. This is about matchmaking, connecting, um, being practical, because Virgo is a practical zodiac, being practical in how people connect. Because people are kind of tired of, the swipey. But it puts like a more personal spin on it. But this is you being strategic about how you do it. And there are a lot of people who would pay a lot of money to be connected to a just a good person. And this is, I don't know if you have a process that you have established, not necessarily an app, but a process where people go to a place and they, not necessarily like speed dating, but you have a more practical approach to it. Well, people come in, they connect, and if they like each other, um, they exchange information somehow so they can connect again. But you're doing it with folks who are of a particular um, these are like professionals. These are not just professionals, they may be business owners. These are people who are they may be some that are well connected. There may be some. Hey, Lana Rollins, how are you? Thank you. There may be some who are well connected. There may be some who are, um, um, like I said, business owners, or they just may be higher ranking. But you would pretty much, what I'm seeing is you would use like an upscale place, like an upscale restaurant, and people would meet there. And you would make it equitable too with justice here. Yeah, it would be like a matchmaking type situation. We got justice, the emperor, and the empress. So with the two of cups, with the seven of cups, like people would have options, and you could have um I'm not saying you could have theme nights. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. You could have theme nights because you never know what some people are into, and I'm not saying, I am hearing, okay. I'm also hearing like a swingers club. I don't know how those memberships go, but I imagine you can make money off of that too with this Ace of Wands here. So just keeping it real with what Spirit said. I'm not going. I'm not gonna not say what Spirit said. It's like, yeah, it could be like one of those, and of course you would have to do it in a place where uh, you it's legal, and there are many places where it's legal. So yeah, yeah. All right, Virgo. I mean, You can make some coin with that with this Ace of Pentacles. You can make some really good coin with that. And you never know. You could have it where, it's poly night, poly and only single feminines, poly and only, I'm just saying. Clarifying the Ace of Wands for Virgo. Clarifying the Ace of Wands. And you probably could set up, yeah. Yeah, okay. Clarifying the Ace of Wands is temperance, because what I was seeing, Virgo, was a website, and people, it's something exclusive. People have to know somebody to be invited, but it's always in person. This isn't an app. And of course, like I said, it's legal, so you can make it a business where you're connecting people with particular lifestyles with other people who want to be in that particular lifestyle. Like, again, single women who want to live a poly lifestyle or something else, but it's helping folks find that balance. This could be, single successful women who want to connect with uh, a person, regardless of gender identity or biological sex, who um, is just as successful, but they want to have that intimate setting. They don't want to go on an app. You're bringing that balance into their lives because they may be living full and busy lives. Clarifying the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, clarifying the Ace of Pentacles is the Magician. You have all these resources. You have the idea. You have the access to certain things. You might know somebody who owns a restaurant where you could host this event or these events and make it monthly. And it costs like almost, when back in the day it cost like $1,000 to get a website built. Now you don't have to do all that. So yeah, you would just have to meet, your spirit team halfway. You put in the work, you can make it happen. Yeah, Virgo. Our second spread, if that one didn't resonate with anybody. Well, again, we have the Five of Swords, we have the Queen of Cups, and Judgment. This Five of Swords is giving the energy of, it's not anything negative. I apologize. I got a lash in my eye. Mm. It's not anything negative, but it is giving me the by any means winner takes all type energy, where you are somewhat of um, a light worker in a way, and you would decide on what it is, what you would do, who your audience is. They're showing me women or feminine energies, but you would be that person who shows people these feminine energies how to nurture themselves, how to awaken, how to reclaim their power. And to help them understand that if they don't, Virgo, they won't they won't be of help to anyone if they don't help themselves. So this is that energy of like I said, motivational speaker. This is that energy of starting a YouTube channel to teach those practical things to people. This is that energy of helping people find their higher selves and connect. And not just connect with their higher selves, Virgo, but even connect with the divine, reconnect with their spirit team, and give themselves permission to do so, because maybe they are living in clarifying judgment, living in a world of guilt and shame, and you are that person who comes in and busts that wide open with the Five of Swords. Clarifying judgment. Clarifying judgment is the world. Yeah, you could do it on the web. You don't even have to do it in person. This could be a YouTube channel. This could be a YouTube channel. Even to a point where you are taking examples from pop culture and uh, giving people practical gosh, advice. That's the word. Practical advice to follow based on what's going on in pop culture. Yeah. So if that is something that you are interested in doing, Virgos, you're interested in helping people um, reclaim their power, helping people find themselves because they've been lost. You might want to consider that. Definitely need folks like that right now. Just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Definitely need folks right now because people are lost. People are lost. Yeah, Virgo. All right. Hope that helps. I hope it helps you for your highest good. All right. We are moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. I'm doing this so backwards. All right, go. Libra, hey. Hey, Libra, hey. Let's find out what Spirit says. What gifts and talents can work for Libra? What gifts and talents can Libra make work for them? Gifts and talents Libra can make work for them. Libra, we're going to have two spreads. The first, I will be pulling from the bottom of the deck. All right. All right. So here we go, Libra. At the bottom of the deck. Ooh. Just these two. All right. So, Libra, we have the Devil and the Two of Wands. Libra, if you are somebody who does a lot of deep diving, you do a lot of investigative type things, because you have that interest and you have the time, you can actually make it work for you in a way where you are looking into those folks who are trying to hide things, not just hide things, but so we're also talking like, some level of PI work. We're talking some level of investigative research, because maybe this is a person with the devil here who has um, chronic gambling habits, and they are trying to work in the banking industry. It's like that. Or maybe this is somebody who is it's it gives like um not an experienced hacker where somebody wants you to go work for the NSA, but it's given like you have some real good skills where you can find out some shit about people that nobody else can on the internet. It doesn't take much, and you end up exposing a lot of truths about people. So that's why it's kind of giving like a PI type feel. But you are charging people, by the hour. You charge them by the resource that you use. Yeah, me too. Their strength. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is about a lot of the bullshit that people have to live with, and doing it, for it's given like you work for a lawyer, and you work for a lawyer like a divorce lawyer. Yep, you work for a divorce lawyer. Yep. Where you like are in the shadows with your camera and you're watching somebody's soon to be ex going to some random ass shady ass hotel called the Foxy Lady or something like that. I don't know. And you're taking pictures. Foxy Lady with three X's. That's what I see. The Foxy Lady. I don't know what hotel that is or motel that is, but maybe there's one near you. Clarifying the devil. There is a lot of PI work out here for people if they want it. Only if you want it. Clarifying the devil to Libra. Clarifying the devil. Yep. The Ace of Wands. You would be exposing cheaters. You would be exposing like cheaters in their relationships, in their marriages, in their companies. It's like I said, it's giving that energy that you work for a lawyer. You're a contractor for a lawyer, and you charge them by the case. How difficult it is. You charge them per diem. You charge them, by the hour and per diem. I love that. Again, your second spread. We have the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, and the Two of Swords. This is, and of course, this is you here, Libra. This is that it's it's given the energy of helping people change their lives in a way through the legal system. This could, I'm hearing social work. There are social workers who work in the legal system, who have so many different roles. It's not just working with like children, but there are also social workers who may work with prisoners, social workers who work with um, survivors of DV, social workers in different ways. This is also gosh, also hearing like a paralegal. You know, paralegals do a lot of the work for lawyers. There's a lot of law stuff I hear. Um, but they are the ones that help keep those firms running. Like if we're really honest, clarifying the wheel of fortune. But this is that energy of helping people get justice in some way through the legal system, shifting their lives for the better. Clarifying the wheel of fortune. Hmm. The magician. Yeah, you know, it's about resources. It's about having everything at hand. And a lot of times, just going back to that social worker, that legal, that social worker in the justice system, it's about connecting people with the right resources at the right time, or at the availability. Because we all know how the justice system can be sometimes. It's a lot of red tape. Nothing against people who work in the justice system, but yeah, that's what it's giving here. But either way, they do affect change. When they can affect change, they actually do affect change. Clarifying the Two of Swords. Clarifying the Two of Swords. It's a Three of Swords. Yeah, this is that mm, having to make or do hard things that may end up disappointing people, may end up, breaking people's hearts. But it doesn't mean it isn't a fulfilling job. You may end up having to do things that you don't like, but I mean, that's a lot of jobs nowadays. Even if you are fulfilling your purpose. Yeah, Libra. Wow. Lots of connection and exposure here. I hope that helps in the legal system. And I hope that helps you for your highest good, Libra. That was different. All right. We are going to Scorpio. Scorpio. Again, y'all, if you can hear my dog snoring, that's what's going on in the background. Okay. Get your timestamp going here, Scorpio. All right. Hey, Scorpio, hey. Let's find out what gifts and talents Spirit says can work for you, Scorpio. What gifts and talents can work for Scorpio? Scorpio, we are going to have two spreads going here. I'll read from the first one, which I'll pull from the bottom of the deck, and then I'll read from the second. If anything resonates, please feel free to like, share, and or subscribe if you have not already. That's our second spread, and the first Scorpio starts with the Eight of Pentacles and the Chariot, as well as the Two of Pentacles. I'll pull that one out. Okay. Both of these? All right. As well as the Three of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. Scorpio, are you somebody who likes putting things together? You know, tinkering, you know, just using your hands to do shit, like, and making shit work, or using your hands to um, um, create and have an end result. You know, as in a finished product, something that is completed. Like some of you with the Chariot here may have considered, because there aren't no time soon, we're not going to stop using cars. Maybe some of you have considered actually, you know, going to get a certification to work on cars, whether we're talking about electric or like gasoline or gasoline powered. There may even be a gosh, a contractor, like a general contractor, because Spirit is pointing out on this Chariot the homes behind here. Roofing companies, roofing techs, like apprenticeships, you know, like that. Oh, this is more than two, because that's one, and then Spirit is showing me with the Chariot, the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles, where people still do that. Where it's one is a competitive industry, but if you really try for it, you can actually do it. What Spirit is showing me is you know how they do the uh, big game fishing, or whether it is like in Alaska or the Bering Strait around there, or whether it's off the whether you're doing it for sport. Yeah, you would have a whole crew, but again, it's competitive. It's really competitive. You would probably have to start off as an apprentice, but it would be one of those things where you would only do it throughout a specific time of a year. So if we're talking about the fishing in Alaska, you would probably work all summer, you know, and then do what you do winter. I don't know how that stuff works, but I know it works by seasons, you know? Yeah. Mm. That's very interesting. And maybe you've been kind of tossing with it with the Two of Pentacles because it seems far fetched. It seems like something that others would tell you that you shouldn't pursue, but more there are more people that are needed to do these things nowadays. Because otherwise, you know, if there weren't, we wouldn't get a lot of things going on. And people love big game fishing. I actually went to school with somebody who became a big game fisher, and he makes a lot of money. I think he might be retired now, something like that. But yeah, crazy, crazy. Clarifying the Chariot for Scorpio. Clarifying the Chariot for Scorpio. Clarifying the Chariot, Scorpio, is a Six of Cups. Oop, there we go. Six of Cups. Yeah, this has been something that you have, if we're talking about doing the mechanic or working with your hands in some way, doing the roofing, either way, this is something that is probably in your DNA somewhere, where you have folks who in your family who actually do work with their hands, and maybe they had some businesses, or maybe they had to give it up and do something else, but you actually have the opportunity to do it and be successful at it. Whether we are talking about, being a mechanic for, let's say, Tesla, or, you know, um, having your own business as a mobile mechanic or something like that. And even with the other options, those fishing, big game fishing ones, this is something where you come from a line of hunters. They are highlighting this spear. You come from a line of hunters. Yeah. So that's two. Let's go on to the third one. We have the Page of Cups, the Emperor, and the Three of Wands here. Hmm. This is one of those. Okay. Scorpio, have you ever thought about starting a program for the youth in your community, to give them guidance on starting businesses, on to give them guidance on practical skills, um, having different um, points of interest in that, or you choosing a point of interest and helping them cultivate that. Yeah, with the Page of Cups, the Emperor, and the Three of Wands here, this is somebody who is running like a community, not just a community center, but a community educational center. But we're not talking about like regular education. We're talking about those skills that people need to live. People need to grow and become, to be productive for themselves. And maybe they haven't been able to learn it at home or from anybody else in the community. It shows them what other things can be out there for them, and how they can apply practical skills and help them make money. even a because I remember what they're showing me is when I was going to school in the 1900s, they taught us how to write checks. They taught us how to balance the checkbook, and yeah, true enough, there's apps for that. However, money management is something that really isn't taught, or financial management, especially to the youth before they get into credit cards, before they get into debt. Teaching them about, if they're going to school, because these credit card companies may prey on, you know young folks like that. Yeah, there are, like I said earlier, there are a lot of grants out there, and when you get these grants include paying yourself a salary. Just saying. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Clarifying the emperor. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Clarifying the emperor. Clarifying the emperor for Scorpio. Clarifying the emperor for Scorpio. Yep. The sun. Yes. The sun, Scorpio, exposing these young folks to um, opportunities that they may not learn in the regular education system. Adding on to that, as well as occupying their time, you know, when they're otherwise playing video games or something like that. Yeah. And this would be also a fulfilling career where you would actually be paying yourself what you deserve, especially if you get a grant. Yep. I hope that helps, Scorpio. I hope that helps you for your highest good. All right now. Okay. Going to Sagittarius. Okay. Make sure I have the timestamp right. All right. Hey, Sagittarius. Hey, Sagittarius. Let's find out here what gifts and talents you can make work for you. We're going to have two spreads, Sagittarius. The first one will come from the bottom of the deck, and the second will come from the one closest to me. If this happens to resonate, and please take it as it resonates, not every aspect will. Feel free to like and or subscribe if you haven't already. All right, we have the Lovers, Queen of Wands, and the Empress. And then for your first spread, Sagittarius, we have the Three of Wands, the Magician, and the King of Wands. As well as the Eight of Cups. Okay, the Fool, the Ace of Swords, this, and the Page of Swords. All right. Well, daggone cards. So, Sagittarius. Um, this energy, or rather, this is somebody, or you are somebody who is very resourceful, because you are the magician. That's how you're presenting. And you are presenting as someone who because you are resourceful. You are, you may be somebody who helps those people who feel lost, those people who, and when I say feel lost, it may be because they have had to leave a certain situation, whether by force or by choice. This is given an energy where you help people connect with the right resources that helps them reacclimate or find their way in life with the Fool here and Ace of Swords. A lot of the work may be on line, or a lot of the work will be teaching them how to interview, or even how to um, start from the bottom in a way to work their way up. So introducing them to a job that they probably wouldn't think about taking, because they may not even have the capacity to uh, even think that they would fit in that position. For example, some people um, couldn't even imagine or see themselves as a nail tech. This could be a young person, feminine, masculine, non binary energy, who may have been kicked out of their home, but you introduced them to the possibility of changing their lives and working for themselves. But of course, you have to start somewhere with the Page of Swords. You don't automatically just, just start doing nails and stuff. You got to learn some skills. Yeah, it's like it's inspirational but practical all at the same time. And this may not necessarily, Sagittarius, bring in the coin. However, what it will do is definitely put a lot of that beautiful karmic energy out there, where you get paid over and over and over, and you never know the lives that you would touch and how they would repay you back. Clarifying the Magician for Sagittarius. Clarifying the Magician for Sagittarius. Clarifying the Magician for Sagittarius. Ooh. Two of Cups to clarify the Magician. Yeah, this is about helping people find that balance, that yin to the yang, meeting of the minds, and connecting them with themselves and their true value in an inspirational and practical way. Going to your next spread here, we have the Lovers, Queen of Wands, and the hmm, this is a this is another matchmaking type energy here with the Lovers, Queen of Wands, and the Empress, where you are that person that connects them with the Sagittarius energy right here as the Queen of Wands. where you use your either your intuition or even other esoteric ways to connect people. So yeah, it's it's giving matchmaking, but it's also giving, you know, other otherworldly type energies where yeah, matchmaking encouragement, I'll say that. But people come to you to get maybe oils and or other things to entice the person they want to be with, and some of them in hopes of becoming married or having a lifelong partner with the Empress here. Yeah, clarifying the lovers for Sagittarius. Clarifying the lovers for Sagittarius. That's interesting. Clarifying the lovers for Sagittarius. And maybe even for some of y'all, take it as it resonates. Maybe doing some, not just having oils and things like that, but also probably doing some kind of a shadow candle work, and helping people do some shadow work. Yeah, with the hangman here, the hangman is clarifying the lovers. Yeah, it's changing somebody's perspective. You know, in an otherworldly type way, and I'll use that word encouragement loosely because not everybody flows on a light, a, a spectrum of light. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that it for Sagittarius? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone because I leave that one to you and your spirit team. I hope that helps Sagittarius. I hope it helps you for your eyes good. Capricorn is up next here. Capricorn. Right. Here we go. Get your timestamp going here, Cap. All right. Hey, Cap. Hey. So, we're going to do two spreads, Cap. The first spread is going to come from the bottom of the deck, and the second spread will be closest to me. Everything may not resonate, and that's okay. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But if it does, feel free to like and or subscribe. What gifts and talents can Cat use to work for them, Spirit? All right. That's the second one. And the first one starts with the Nine of Wands, Justice, Cap. Six of Pentacles. Ooh. The High Priestess and the Four of Swords, as well as the Hermit. Okay. All right. With the Nine of Wands here, Cap, is given like you may have been somebody who was either excuse me, in the military, went to military school. Um, or maybe that interests you in some way, but it's giving, the nine of wands is giving the wounded soldier, wounded warrior. And then we have justice, of course, as the six of pentacles, high priestess, four of swords, and the hermit. And it's giving with the justice, it's about more so balance than really working in like the legal system, although you may have to deal with them. But this is setting up a um, and maybe a nonprofit or a for profit for people who are like you. It could be a charity. It again, it could be a for profit. But this is a life that you have known, um, especially if you are somebody who's a veteran and you understand the fact that there needs to be more resources. Where we're, if we're talking about, car donation, if we're talking about um, building homes, if we're talking about more access or different access to private mental health professionals, because the VA may be crowded. This is that. This is that. And it will require you to do a lot of searching and soul searching. It would require a lot of work here with the hermit. And it will require a lot of solitude and alone time, because you would have to be the one to put it together. But the high priestess and the hermit, this is these two spiritual cards. They are like super duper. Like this is some old divine path type shit. Like this is a calling type energy. This is that chosen type energy. And although it would be, difficult, it would be very rewarding. And it would be, like, I know I keep saying nonprofits, but this would be something that is would be profitable with the Six of Pentacles here. We got the justice scales here twice, side by side. Because there's a lot of people out here that will actually support it, especially if you use the platform. If you established a platform online, whether it's any of the socials or even here on YouTube, had a podcast to bring awareness as well as to raise money. Clarifying justice. Clarifying justice for Cap. Yep, Ace of Pentacles. This would be one of those things where, like I said, although it may be under the heading of a nonprofit, you would more than likely, by going this route, you could raise a lot of money and pay yourself a very good salary, you know, on and be on the up and up. It wouldn't be where you were stealing from your company. This would be your salary, and you would give all the other money to the cause. Especially if we are talking about providing different access to veterans, um, private access to mental health professionals, paying them on a sliding scale. Yep. Because there wouldn't be, that waiting time and all that stuff like that people have to go through with the VA. And although, people at the VA are doing what they do, they're doing what they can, it is still about access. That's interesting. Second spread here is the Two of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Swords. 221 or any variation of those numbers may be important to you. This is if you, Cap, are somebody who um is if you are somebody who doesn't live in a like a metro area, if you don't live like I wouldn't say completely rural, but you're not like in the city. There are some things that, of course, smaller areas would benefit from that the city may have, but people don't want to travel to it. There are a lot of people nowadays who are, moving to like the burbs and because they don't want to be in the city like that. They want to raise families and things like that. But there is a loss in connection. So let's say these are folks who are just starting families with the Two of Cups here, and these people want to connect, and there are no meetups in the community. They don't know where to go with the Two of Swords here. They don't know what to do. But Cap, you do. You know, Cap. They don't know what to do. They don't know what it's a burden to have to try to make friends as an adult in the burbs because you left your friends in the city. You could be that person that helps people connect, and maybe it means that you establish like a wine bar. You take a house. Maybe the area has been zoned for businesses, and convert it into like a wine bar where people come to hang out. It's just a chill place. Yeah, that's just one idea. You can have that one for free. Take the Two of Swords. Or, you could take that, again, that house that has been zoned in a business, and you know how they have those co-working spots. Everybody doesn't want to be at home all the time, even when the children aren't there. You can create a co-working spot, but it's in the burbs. Yeah, this is something that helps people kind of get away with the Seven of Swords here from being in their homes where they're working from home, and it can kind of escape and go somewhere else. So they don't have to always be at home and have the stress of work at home. Or they have somewhere to go to sip some wine instead of in the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Escaping home. I get it. Like everybody can't, you don't want to be at the house all the time. You want to get out, but you don't want to go into the city. It's like that. It's like that sometimes. I hope they help Cap. Yeah, I hope it helps you. Pray highest good. All right, we are on to Aquarius. We're almost done. Yeah, I do. Aquarius. I need to spell Aquarius right. There we go. All right, Aquarius. Let's see. What gifts and talents, Spirit, can Aquarius make work for them? What gifts and talents can Aquarius make work for them? Aquarius, we're going to have two spreads. The first one I will read from the bottom of the deck, and the second will be the one that's closest to me. What gifts and talents can Aquarius make work for them? All right, this is going to be the second one, Aquarius. The first one starts with the Lovers and the Three of Cups, Six of Cups, the Moon. This feels like a love reading. The King of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Spirit, is this a love reading? I mean, that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like here. The Lovers, Three of Cups, Six of Cups, Moon. Yeah, it is exposing those hidden things. And it's giving, like, there's a lot of private investigator energy out here. And I use that term because I don't know any other type of term for it. But with this one in particular, is you're consistently exposing, cheaters um, in marriage situations. Yep. With this Six of Cups, it's that's your specialty. And even with this Three of Cups here, it's giving the energy like some of these people, you'll end up befriending the third party to get all the information that you need. Like, you'll find out who the third party is, be at a particular bar that this person frequents. You chat them up and find out who they're seeing, and yeah, that's how you make your coin. That's how you make your coin, by exposing, those people, especially those people who are have some means, especially those people who have some means. Clarifying the Three of Cups for Aquarius. Clarifying the Three of Cups for Aquarius. Clarifying the Three of Cups for Aquarius is the Seven of Cups. Wait, there you go. Seven of Cups. Yeah. Again, exposing the illusions, the hidden things, revealing the truth, like showing that the snakes are there, like a spade is a spade, and putting it out there in the streets and getting much coin off of it. Some people may want to pay you in jewels. Like, when I say high end, I'm like high end people. Like, I don't know if you live in a place that's kind of like Miami, or you know, where it gives that kind of energy. Yeah. Second spread is the Five of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician. This is one of those where there is alignment in the vision, there is provision type energy. And this would require you to be, in a way, Aquarius, I want to say ruthless, but I'm saying it in a way that you would be ruthless about pursuing this. There wouldn't be anything to deter you with the Five of Swords here, or distract you. Can I clarify? Can we clarify the Five of Swords here? Damn. Clarifying the Five of Swords is the Wheel of Fortune again, because again we have it right here with the Magician, and the Ten of Wands. This clarification is given the energy where you are fighting for the little guy, and not necessarily like in law. You're an advocate, and you are an advocate to um, the people in your community. This isn't something that is on a macro level, so you're not necessarily working with, you know, um, you're not trying to save the world. You are trying to save your community. Clarify the Magician. Oh, what is this? Clarifying the Magician is the Magician. How you going? How you going to clarify the Magician with the Magician? Like that's some. This is more. It's some superpower type stuff where you, Aquarius, use your superpower of persuasion. You use your superpower of even manifestation, your superpower of your magic to change people's lives in your community. It is because we have doubles here. We got the double Wheel of Fortune. We have double Magician. This is you are doing light work, and not just any old type of light work. You are doing the esoteric. You are a magician. Literally, you are a magician. And you can get paid to be a magician. Like, not like the magician in Vegas. Like, we talking about like a real one. You working your magic. You know what your magic is. You know what your spirit team is. And the folks in around you with the Ten of Wands, they would flock towards you. You would be a well kept secret that isn't really a secret. You'll be somebody that helps people with, fertility issues, whether you cleanse womb work, womb cleansing, um, things like that. Yeah, changing people's lives. that in your life is that's your divine path. Like, so you might be, witchy, you might not be, but you're supposed to be doing something like that in your community, like face to face work. And maybe it's not where you have a brick and mortar per se. You might be mobile. And when I say mobile, not you necessarily going to people, like people come to you, but you have like a trailer that goes around town or something, or goes around to like different um, common places in the town, and that's where people meet up with you. It's giving that energy. That was for free too. You can have that for free. All right, up next is Pisces. We're almost done, y'all. Almost done. Switch this out. Okay, let me get your timestamp going. Pisces. All right. Hey, Pisces. Hey. Let's find out what gifts and talents. Spirit says you can make work for you. What gifts and talents can Pisces make work for them? Gifts and talents Pisces can make work for them. We're going to have two spreads, Pisces. The first one is going to be pulled from the bottom of the deck. The second one is the one that I'm pulling right now. And everything may not resonate, Pisces, but if it does, feel free to like and or subscribe if you have not already. So for your first spread, Pisces, we have the Tower, the King of Swords, the Seven of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. This is serious. The Five of Swords, and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So again, Pisces. Let me make sure I'm talking to the right person. Pisces. Okay, so this job is definitely going to be, or this talent, Pisces, rather, this gift and this talent. It's interesting because, a lot of people see, you know what? I won't say that because that's just goofy. But basically, Pisces, if you are somebody who can separate your feelings from, you know, doing what you need to do or doing what has to be done, you may be able to use your talents to be that person who delivers um, very hard news to people. With the Tower here is, and the King of Swords is giving that um, you're that person who tells folks that they are no longer, their employment is no longer needed, you know, at a particular place where you are contracting your services for small businesses. And you are that person who goes in there and tells Bob and or Sandy, like, hey, we understand you've been working here for 5 years. You helped us start. And they're like, us, who are you? And you're like, I'm Pisces. Yeah, and I was hired to let you know that your services, although we thank you for them, they are no longer required. Yeah. Pisces, is that's what spirit is showing me. You have that gift. Not everybody has it. And not every business owner wants to have to deliver that news to their employees or soon to be ex-employees. Clarifying the King of Swords. Yeah. You could contract your services for a particular time frame, contract them by person, like whoever you have to deliver the messages to, and even break it down even more what type of messages you have to deliver, contract it that way. Clarifying the King of Swords for Pisces. Yeah, the Hierophant. You would be going in these companies, in these businesses, regardless of the size, and that would be what you would do. Not every business has an HR, so you could actually I don't want to say if you have HR experience, Pisces, then maybe you could contract yourself as an HR consultant to some of these businesses. And when it's time for those hard conversations, you're that person that delivers them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have HR experience, you just have experience in other ways, you can, like I said, you would be able to um basically monetize your gifts in this way. Go into the second spread, Pisces. We got the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Hierophant again. Different spread though. If you are somebody who is really good at saving, um, you may be able to help those folks using your skills, especially not just saving but money management with the four of Pentacles here. Using your money management skills to help those people who may have had uh, like a lot of student loans or a lot of debt in a way that is kind of like gosh, what's that guy's name where he talks about doing the balloon method or the snowball, not balloon, snowball method, but you would market it in a completely different way. You would make it your own. Clarifying the Hierophant for Pisces. Clarifying the Hierophant for Pisces. Clarifying the Hierophant for Pisces. Yeah, the Chariot. Mm-hmm. You would use your skills, your money management skills, to help people get on track, so they can, pursue those things that they want to do. Like if they wanted to start a business, if they wanted to buy a house, if they wanted to, start saving money so they can have the wedding that they want, or take a lot of vacations, buy other properties, whatever it may be. Yeah. You can market yourself online, have a a podcast YouTube page, and as you grow, you would of course have that free information, but when you get to that point where you can have like memberships, or you could of course, do like Patreon or something, have those memberships, and give those folks who are paying like real deep insight to the keys. Yep. Very good, Pisces. It's like one extreme to another. Everybody has gifts and talents. All right, Pisces, are almost done because we're on to Aries. On to Aries. All right. Hey, Aries. Hey. Okay. Aries, here we go. What gifts and talents does Aries have that they can make work for them? Aries, we have two spreads we're going to give. First one is going to come from the bottom of the deck. The second one is going to be closest to me, Aries. Everything may not resonate, and that's okay. But if it does resonate, Aries, please feel free to like and or subscribe if you haven't already. All right, that's our second spread. The first one, we have Judgment, Temperance. Ooh, lots and lots of major arcana. The Six of Swords and the Devil. Ten of Pentacles. The Three of Swords. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So, again, Aries, this first spread is Judgment, Temperance, the Six of Swords, the Devil, Ten of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. Um, this is one of those talents and gifts to help people save themselves. And they may be saving themselves from, their own issues with the devil here, or they may be running, or not running, but removing themselves from a situation where they are in a controlling or abusive family situation with the Ten of Pentacles. This may be a because this there are three major arcana in the spread. We have Judgment and Temperance. This is one of those um, spreads, Aries. It's one of those gifts where you're heavily guided by angels, and you are going to be seen, and you may even be an earth angel. It is like a not her. It's a modern um, underground railroad type situation where you have access to certain resources to help people restart their lives, as well as even like therapeutic resources. Maybe you are connecting these people with a local university where some of the students there are getting degrees in counseling, and they charge on a scale or don't charge at all, but they are working under a licensed practitioner. Yeah. I don't know if this, I'm not seeing off bat that this is one of those gifts and talents that will make you super wealthy. However, is spirit is just like where the vision aligns, there is provision. Clarifying temperance and judgment. Clarifying temperance and judgment. Yeah, you're going to be that person that awakens people and really just kind of blows up the fucked up situation that they're in. And like I said, help them save themselves. Bring them peace. Clarifying temperance and judgment. Yeah. Bringing balance. With lovers here. Back into their lives. Because they haven't had it. You're not just bringing the balance in their lives or helping them do that. You're helping them empower themselves. Empower themselves. Shed a whole skin, you know, where they probably felt they were powerless or they felt worthless. And now they are something else. And this is angels. They're all over this one. The angels are all over this one. Yeah, that's the first spread. The second one, Aries, is the Two of Cups, the Sun, and the Chariot. Like, this is definitely where there is alignment in the vision, there is provision energy. This one may be cultural, though. Where this is one of those, I'm seeing like the Jewish, Arabic, the cultures where they do that traditional matchmaking. Yeah, because we have Two of Cups of Sun and a Chariot, where you are connecting, people even across continents based on um like historical and cultural um knowledge and keys, and like I don't know how that all works, but I know it's more than just, this is their doctor, you're a doctor, and let's like there's a whole science to it when you're dealing with the different cultures. Clarifying the sun for Aries. Clarifying the sun for Aries. Clarifying the sun for Aries. Clarifying the sun, Aries, is the world. It's the world. Yeah. This may require you to have, use the internet, but it's going to require more travel than anything. Where you'll use your skills to connect, like I said, people from other continents, other countries. Hold on, please. Okay, thank you for your patience. Yeah, crazy. Not crazy, but that is cool though. I cannot remember that show that they used to have where that lady, I think it was on the Netflix, or maybe it was on the Hulu, where there was a lady like that who did that in Tel Aviv, and and in New York. She lived in New York, but she would often go to Tel Aviv and do the matchmaking. That's the energy I was getting off of that. All right. Last but definitely not least, you're on Taurus. Get your timestamp, Taurus. All right. Here we go, Taurus. Hey, Taurus. Hey. Let's see what gifts and talents you can make work for you according to spirit. What gifts and talents can Taurus make work for them? Spirit. What gifts and talents can Taurus make work for them? We're going to have two spreads, Taurus. The first one is I'm actually going to pull from the bottom of the deck, and the second is going to be in front of me. Now, everything may not resonate, Taurus, and that is okay. But if it does, feel free to like and or subscribe. Okay, so with your first spread, Taurus, we have the 9 and 2 of Swords, Death, the Ace, and the 4 of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles. Is that it? All right. And the Ace of Pentacles. So again, because I did pull a lot of cards, we have the 2 of Swords, 9 of Swords. My apologies, Taurus. Hold on. Okay, I apologize again. Okay, we have a 2 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Death, Ace of Wands, 4 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. So, um, this is definitely giving that transformation, that transformative energy where you help people transform their lives with Death here, especially with those folks who don't, um, they're indecisive. So you may end up getting like, a certification in coaching where you could be a gosh, was it a spiritual coach, a lifestyle coach. I know there are probably different um, specialties, but it is really motivational to get people to actually take action in their lives and change, um, affect change in their own lives. Because with this 9 of Swords, people, it's giving that energy to start, or they need the inspiration with the Ace of Wands, and they need balance and harmony in their lives. So it doesn't mean that you have to start I mean, you have to go with one type of population that you work with, or that you have to have one type of a specialty. But it is profitable with this Ace of Pentacles here. So you see it, Taurus? It's very profitable. I'm also getting from here, um, I'm also getting a death doula, because there's a lot of things that um, death doulas actually do to help the families, with the Four Wands here, to help the transition into the 5D, uh, peaceful on both sides, the person who is transitioning and for the family. With the Ace of Wands here is given that energy where you have multiple options, to multiple options, multiple packages to help the transition easier for everybody involved. Because of course, with the death and dying process, a lot of people have no idea what to do, especially if a person may be on hospice, and it's been a terminal illness that they've been dealing with for a while, or a chronic illness that has transitioned into something that is terminal. You can offer packages to people. Yeah. Clarifying the Nine of Swords here for Taurus. Clarifying the Nine of Swords for Taurus. Clarifying the Nine of Swords for Taurus. Ooh, y'all didn't want to come on. Clarify the Nine of Swords for Taurus. It is the King of Pentacles. And there you are. All day, Taurus. Yeah. This will be very profitable for you. And not that you will be going into it for the profit, but this is about helping make people's lives easier, helping people make decisions, especially the ones that they don't want to make, or in even empowering people, Taurus, to make the hard decisions. Um, yeah, because you come with that Taurus energy. You come with that comforting energy, but yet um, it can be, I don't want to say stern, but like a loving parent, like a loving mentor, you know. It's one that is definitely stable, and you help people when we're talking about the coaching and things like that. You can help people establish a more stable foundation in their lives and give them direction, because you're forging the way, helping them forge the way. And then with the death doula side of things, you are helping people, especially if you're working with people who maybe find out about their diagnoses, and they want to go ahead and start making decisions before the family gets into it, and things get messy, helping them forge their way and get their wishes fulfilled. There are some ways of going about that. And not to say that you will be a lawyer, because that's not what a death doula is. But there are people out here now who don't want the medical side to be surrounding them all the time. If they are in a hospice, they want something that's more holistic. something that is like home. And there are home hospices, but you know, death, you would have to do your research into it, but death doula is something, uh is something special. And I'll, maybe I should call it transition doula. I don't know. You can call it what you want to. But going into the second spread, yeah, you know, at the bottom of the deck, Ten of Pentacles, you'll be helping families. And like I said, either with either one, it would be very lucrative for you. With either one. But going into your second spread here, um, Ten of Swords, the Devil, Six of Swords. This is also uh, given the energy of the gift and talent of helping those uh, escape and remove themselves from fucked up situations. It could be another, um, underground railroad for DV survivors. It is, they have me looking at these islands here in the Six of Swords. Like you would have a retreat of sorts that say by the beach. And if it of course would be somewhere where no one would think to look, because maybe this person, the person that you're helping, actually came from somewhere in Tennessee, and y'all are somewhere in the beach in Florida. Clarifying the Six of Swords. Clarifying the Six of Swords. Clarifying the Six of Swords for Taurus. Clarifying the Six of Swords. Clarifying the Six of Swords. Taurus is the Six of Wands and the Fool. Yeah. You would help people um, find and see their way into a new start in their lives. This could be one of those things. Oh my gosh, why are they showing me this? You know that that show Queen Latifah had is based off of Denzel's movie. I cannot think of what the name of it is right now, but the gosh, that's what they're showing me. Like it would be something that is quietly advertised. Like you wouldn't be on Craigslist or anything like that, but people would know how to find you. They would know how to connect to you. It's not anything that will be overly marketed. Not at all. Because your sites, because I see multiple ones, they will be secret. And these aren't necessarily like your homes that you're setting up. These could be donated homes. You just run the program and help connect people and help them restart their lives. But they would have a way to find you. And it's given that energy of maybe like certain social workers in the justice system would have your information. And when somebody who is a survivor or DV is really ready to go, they are ready to make that move, that's when they contact you. And of course, you would do your whole vetting type thing. Wow, it's already playing out in my head like it's, you know, you do your whole vetting thing about the situation. You do your research into this person, their situation, what's going on. And yeah, mm, that's definitely needed. And it wouldn't just, you don't necessarily have to do, yeah, eight of cups at the bottom of the deck. You don't necessarily have to do it for like DV survivors. You could do it for traffic because the devil is here. It'll be people who are trafficked. And if you're in the States, there are a lot of hubs that people have no idea about. There are a lot of hubs. People don't believe that in slavery still exists, but it just looks different today. And there is a lot of money out there as far as like grants that have to be used for these organizations. And there's a lot of private money out there where people are looking to just cash out. Yeah. Yeah, Taurus. I hope that helps. I hope it helps you for your highest good, Taurus. That's it, y'all. That is it. Thank you for everybody who came through. I know some of that stuff was kind of out there, but I don't censor spirit. I say what spirit tells me to say, and I keep it moving. That was a funny one. I can't remember what zodiac that was, but you will be making a lot of money, you know, helping those folks who want to be swingers, you know. But yeah, this is something that we're going to be doing more often. It is something that spirit feels like it's needed. And again, I don't sense of spirit. I just work here, y'all. But thank you for coming through. I hope this helps. I hope it helps you for your highest good. I hope you all have a great weekend. If you are in the States, happy Juneteenth. That is tomorrow. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.